let's talk about my glorious Saturday night that I had sitting in my basement watching the best player in the world, Victor Wembanyama, take down that free throw merchant, Shea Gilgious-Alexander in the Oklahoma City Thunder. And Josh, you know this. Everybody that was on social media today hyping our show
You know
saw
what's
this.
funny, Brandon, is that I had the same thing. I did the ESPN thing. I'm ranked 669, the hundreds, not thousands. I've got the Spurs winning the title.
Well,
I've only had 2 picks wrong, and those were both in that freaking.
You guys actually both know this because Finch, you were filling in for Josh when he was in Germany. I believe it was April 2nd. What did I tell both of you in March and April? I said the San Antonio Spurs are winning the damn championship.
I was shocked back then because I think, or maybe it was earlier in the year, because I'm like, they're this good already.
And I said, and Josh, you asked me, and I had the clip, and I also had the clip where you said Stephon Castle you believe would be the X factor for the Spurs, and you were right on that. But you asked me, you said, are you worried about the Spurs' youth and lack of experience? And I have to admit, when it was getting close to the fourth quarter, did I start to worry maybe a teeny tiny bit? Yes. But at the end of the day, Victor Wembanyama, Stephon Castle, and Luke Cornett with the absolute block that they will play in infamy if the Spurs are able to finish this off against the Knicks. Oh, it made me so happy. This is what a real dynasty is supposed to look like, Adam Silver. And now we can't even have it because they're dumb tanking rules.
Wait a minute. You, my friend, cannot talk about dynasty.
Yes, I can.
No, you cannot. Because
why not?
Who was it that said the Denver Nuggets were the next dynasty?
Well, yeah, they looked like it, and then they fell apart.
That was you.
Oh, Crosby too for that one. He's the owner.
Wait, weren't you also the one saying Oklahoma City could be the next dynasty?
No, I never said they could be the next dynasty.
No,
I said they better.
He did not.
I said they better win the championship this year. That was last year against the Pacers because I said the Spurs were coming.
So you cannot talk to me about dynasties.
Yes, I can talk to you about dynasties because, Josh, your Thunder with your guy, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, is not the next dynasty in the NBA. I kind of feel bad for the Thunder because it's very similar to the Cavs, who were going to have a dynasty, and then Kevin Durant just showed up and ripped it away from us. Well, Victor Wembanyama has shown up and ripped away the dynasty from the Oklahoma City Thunder until, you know what they're going to do? They're going to go out this offseason, and they're going to trade Chet Holmgren for Giannis Antetokounmpo, and it's going to be the Kevin Durant move to Golden State all over again.
Well, except Durant was a free agent, and he bitched out.
Wait a minute. Do you remember what I texted you after Game 7? What did I say to you, Brandon? Do you remember? What did I say about Wemby?
I remember the tweet you sent me, which said this is Wemby's league now.
Yes, but you responded to a text that I sent you, and you were like, there's still some good teams in the West.
What? Let me see. I remember.
Yeah.
Spurs Thunder is a damn rivalry. That's what you texted me.
Yeah, I said to you, Spurs Thunder was a damn rivalry, and I still believe it is.
It's the start of one.
No, it is officially a rivalry. You will not convince me otherwise.
Well, there's 6 other teams.
I can see where he's coming from, especially with SGA just saying his MVP is basically, it's not the exact words, but basically meaningless season failure. So it's like, I feel like that kind of is the start. We're hitting the start button, but we're like Josh said, I think we're right on that, more so right on the precipice. And
and by the way, who on whatever day it was, I think it was April 14th, Josh, when we made our NBA playoff predictions, who said Shea Gilgeous-Alexander was going to win MVP? They were going to face the Spurs in the Western Conference Finals, and Victor Wembanyama was going to outplay SGA because he was going to say,
rid of the rule.
He was going to say that MVP is mine, and this is my league. And I said it last week on the show. This reminds me of when LeBron went for the 25 straight against the Pistons in 2007, where like Kobe Bryant, Tim Duncan, Steve Nash, they all had the MVPs of the championships, and LeBron didn't have any of it yet, but we all understood LeBron was the best player in the league and was going to be for the next decade plus. That's what Wemby did in this series.
Yeah, Wemby is the next LeBron. He's the next face of the league. That's,
yes.
It's already set in stone.
No. But again, Wemby was fantastic. I got to give him his credit. For the Spurs to have to deal with Dylan Harper being injured, De'Aaron Fox being injured, and still doing what they did, I was very impressed.
By the way, in Game 7, I thought he had a C+, B- game. I didn't even think he played that well.
But to me, it wasn't just Stephon Castle who was the X factor. It was Vassell. It was Julian Champagny. Those three.
I agree. And by the way, I love the way those guys play basketball because they play like a veteran team, but they're so young. And I've been saying this. This is not your Greg Popovich, Tim Duncan, do your job, boring ass Spurs. These are the young, energetic, flashy, hungry Spurs with an ace of humility, and they play the game the right way. And I was very upset at the end of Game 5. Because, Josh, if you do remember when we were doing the show last week with Jay, when I did say I thought it would be tough if the Spurs lost Game 5 to go into OKC again and win a Game 7. But that was until I watched Game 5 and I saw Tony Brothers, who I want investigated.
Oh, my God. Why is he still allowed to rep in the playoffs? Come on.
No, but here's the thing with the Spurs. I thought they lost the series after Game 5 when OKC won that game with J-Dub and AJ Mitchell out. I was like, oh. And I was like, San Antonio has got to win this game. And then they did.
Can I address this real quick? I'm not going to address you guys personally. I'm going to address Thunder fans. For all the Thunder fans that are out there crying, we didn't have J-Dub, we didn't have AJ Mitchell. You lost to a team that you should have beat that were a bunch of babies that don't even have their man body yet. Oh, and by the way, did you not win Game 7 of the finals by hook or by crook? Because the Pacers' best player tore his Achilles minutes into Game 7.
Fair, I'm going to blame the Pacers and Halliburton for that because when you have no lower body workouts, when you have a dangerous injury like that, and we have seen these Achilles blow-ups, I know, it's Game 7. You can't fully blame them, but come on. There has to be a way for the NBA to actually go back to an era where people don't just train their upper bodies, but actually stop going skinny legs.
Well, there's two things to that. Number one, again, and we've talked about this, Fitz, you were on the show on Memorial Day on Brandsford a couple weeks ago. The pace of play, the spacing, it's more intense, all that. But the other thing is, once you're in the playoffs and you get a couple of days off, we know this now during the regular season because a lot of coaches said it. Teams don't practice anymore. Practice is basically shoot around. So you're out there in games trying to figure it out, which is why, and I've told you both this, and Josh, and I know you disagree with me a little bit, but number one, the regular season doesn't matter as much as it used to. And number two, and I will say this, because I think now it is a fact, the last 18 Game 7s, 10 of them have been won by the road team. And I don't think home court advantage matters as much across the board in sports as it used to.
The only time it did in this most recent era of the NBA was with Golden State, with just how loud that arena could get.
I know Fitz, you look at it started on 2021. It started after COVID.
Look at the data. I was thinking of just the 4 straight trips for Cleveland.
Look at the data from 16 to 21, and then
because that's where things changes after the bubble.
Yes.
True.
Josh, you're awfully quiet.
Because I've just been sitting back listening, basically.
Well, did you want to add anything else, or should we go to the finals?
Can we put an APB out for Chet Holmgren? Like, are you that scared of Victor Wembanyama that you're only going to take 2 shots?
Yes, because Victor Wembanyama got mad at him. I guess there was some incident. I think it was before the Olympics a couple years ago or some scrimmage where
probably like a FIBA event, I'm guessing.
Yes. And Wemby took it personally. It's very Jordan-esque where Wemby's making up his own demons.
But SGA was doing everything he could. Caruso wasn't hitting his shots like he usually had been.
I mean, Caruso hit him in the third quarter. And then, by the way, once Jared McCain came out on fire in the first quarter. But I do agree with you. I thought overall in Game 7, I actually thought SGA somewhat outplayed Wemby. Because, again, I don't think Wemby played that well, which is even more scary, in my opinion, for the rest of the week.
Let me say this again. No disrespect to Wemby. He absolutely deserved to be Western Conference Finals MVP. He was the best player in the series. So don't take this out of context. But to me, the most important player for San Antonio in that series was not Wemby. It was Stephon Castle because he was matched up with SGA and the type of defense Stephon Castle was playing.
No, I actually could agree with that.
Again, I'm not trying to disrespect Wemby. He deserves everything he's getting. But I don't think San Antonio wins that series if they don't have Stephon Castle.
Here's the thing. I don't think San Antonio wins that series if Dylan Harper's out. Or not Dylan Harper. De'Aaron Fox, excuse me. Actually, he was the most valuable player in the series because when he was out, you saw the turnovers for San Antonio rise. And when he was ball handling, De'Aaron Fox is able to calm the nerves down of Stephon Castle and Dylan Harper.
I also think Harrison Barnes was valuable for them in that series. Sure, he didn't get a lot of playing time.
Oh, he's still in the league?
Yes,
and he's on the Spurs. And by the way, he started for the majority of the year. And then Champagne came in.
I thought he was retired by now.
I want to add one more thing, guys. Did you guys notice in Game 7? I know it was in the fourth quarter, and I apologize. I don't remember where it was at. I think it was with 5 minutes left, somewhere around there. When the Spurs call a timeout, Wemby's on the bench. He has 5 fouls. And he's leaning down, and he's talking to who? Not Mitch Johnson, but Bismack Biyombo. And it reminded me a lot of the relationship like Michael Jordan used to have with Phil Jackson, where Michael would just lean into Phil and listen and listen. And again, guys, this guy, I try not to, you guys know me, I exaggerate maybe a little bit sometimes. I try not to be hyperbolic. Victor Wembanyama's ceiling is to make the LeBron Jordan debate irrelevant.
Okay, I'm not ready.
Okay, I can be sold on it. Not quite yet, but I can definitely be sold.
I'm not ready to go there yet. But
I think we are approaching the territory, Josh. So I think there is merit. Not yet, but I think there's merit. There's merit,
okay,
right?
Let me say it like this. I understand why you say that. I'm not ready to get into that argument or even approach that topic. Not ready to do it yet. This is his first appearance in the finals. And I know we're about to get into the finals preview here in a second, just to touch on Stephon Castle and the Spurs overall. Think about who they've had to go through. Sure, they took care of Portland relatively easy in round 1. I get it. But they had to go against an upcoming guard in Denny Avdia. He's not a superstar or anything like that, but I would say he's a very good player with a really good skill set. And then in round 2, they have to go against Anthony Edwards. We know about Ant. He's a superstar, and he's another elite. I shouldn't say elite, but
he's elite. He's elite.
Okay.
Top player in the league.
Okay. And then in round 3, the conference finals, they have to go against SGA. So each round, they've had to go against a more dynamic guard. I think, in my opinion, that helps them going into this series, now that they have to face Jalen Brunson.
Which leads us into the finals, which before we do, Josh, I want you to reiterate your take that you had last week to Fitz that said our friend of the show, Jalen Sandvik, off, because I want to get Fitz's reaction to it. So, Josh, Go ahead.
Boy.
Oh, good
boy.
God.
I don't know what it is, but I know it's going to be something.
I've never heard Jalen Sandvik go off like this after a take I've had. But do you realize that in every round of the playoffs, the Knicks opponents have had to go to a game 7 while they get, I don't know, a week, 8 or a week or more days off?
I was wondering because this is where you could go, I'm not going conspiracy theory, right? This is where conspiracy theorists could have their fun if they wanted to. If the NBA realized how massively they effed up by putting 8 of the Cavs' first 14 playoff games streaming exclusive only, and half of the Pistons' 14 playoff games streaming exclusive only, and all the prime playoff Fridays, as we can call them, that they went for a maximum game 7 just out the door wazoo in order to recoup some of that money.
Yep. So for me,
that's not the take. This is the take. Go ahead.
For me, if the Knicks go on to win a championship, I'm putting an asterisk on it.
I'm not, because the Knicks just went out, they balled, and they're playing against a team the Knicks have been designed in a different way than most other teams have, because they're the one true core superstar who helped set the stage for all this, Jalen Brunson, right? He isn't even taking the max. He's gone under. It's like Jose Ramirez in baseball. That's what's impressive, and that has allowed the Knicks, as inept as that Dolan is, and as bad of a person as he is, to actually surround Brunson with talent. Talents. What? Is Van Vliet still there? Is he in Toronto?
No, Van Vliet's in Houston.
Okay, but to get to the point, it's Brunson being a literal team player, taking less than he could, has helped enable them to build this team, and a team that was hungry after falling to the Pacers last year. I put a couple asterisks next to the Golden State titles because injuries, KD and LeBron dragged them there 07. The only one that I feel like they truly earned was that last one.
Okay, fair. I put an asterisk on the Knicks if they win a championship because
how many games though? How many games? Because I think if it goes more than 5 games, I don't think there's an asterisk.
Every single one of their opponents went to a game 7. And in the case of the 76ers and the Cavs, they had only one day off between game 7 and then playing the Knicks in New York. At least with the finals, San Antonio had a few days off between Oklahoma City and game 1, which is tomorrow. But
the Cavs had to do that years ago when they, LeBron's final year here, they had to go to game 7 in Boston.
The way,
and then they had to play the Warriors.
By the way, Josh, in 2016, the Cavs had to face a Raptors team in the Eastern Conference Finals that went to 2 game 7s prior to reaching the ECF, and then they faced a Golden State team and went to game 7 against OKC. So does that deserve an asterisk? Because that is the same argument you're making here for the Knicks.
Also, injury on Houston. Bye-bye. That's the asterisk also there. LA Clippers, injury asterisk. Bye-bye. Cavs, injury asterisk. Bye-bye.
I don't recall the Raptors having to immediately play game 1 after winning game 7.
I'm not so sure about that, but I know they went with the Heat in the first round the second round, they went to 7 games with the Heat before the Eastern Conference Finals, and then they went to game 7 in the first round against the Indiana Pacers.
So here's the bracket. 4-0 Cleveland, first round over Detroit. 4-2 Atlanta over Boston. 4-3 Miami over Charlotte. 4-3 Toronto over Indy. East semis. 4-0 Cavs over Atlanta. 4-3 Toronto over Miami. 4-2 Cleveland over Toronto.
So the Cavs swept their first 2 rounds, kind of like the Knicks did. And then wait a minute, the Raptors went to 2 game 7s. Oh wait, kind of like you're accusing the Knicks of facing. And then the
here's
Cavs...
the funny thing on the other side: Golden State 4-1, 4-1. Houston, Portland, then versus OKC 4-3.
Yeah, I'm talking about more so the fact that the Knicks opponents had one day off between the game 7s, and then they had to immediately turn around.
I'm sure so did the Cavs in 2016 because the scheduling is very similar.
Okay, we're getting.
I'm looking it up.
No, because you're making the same argument, Josh, and it doesn't apply because it doesn't work because it's BS.
I will stand by it, but
you can stand by it all you want. I'll stand by this. Before the NBA playoffs started, we made our prediction. My prediction was Spurs in 5 over the Knicks. And you asked me before the Eastern Conference Finals started, you said, Brandon, will the Western Conference Finals be the NBA Finals, regardless of who comes out of the East? And I said yes. But the more I watch this Knicks team, the more depth they have, the more appreciation I have for them. I will stick with the Spurs in 5. But I think it could go 6. But I will say this, for all of us as NBA fans, we want this thing to either go 5 games, so it will be a game 5 will be on Saturday night, or we want it to go 7, which would be game 7 on a Friday night. We do not want this thing being a game 6 ending on a Tuesday night.
Also, I love this comment. Cavs should have signed Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese yesterday. I love that comment.
But Josh, I'm sorry, but I must burst your bubble. There was only a game. There was game 7 on May 15th of 2016 for the Raptors in their East semi. They get one day off, then they play Cleveland.
God damn it.
Boom.
So sorry, that is busted. Busted.
I'm sending this quote to Jalen, by the way, just so you know.
Whatever. But getting into the actual finals, I think I said Stephon Castle was going to be the X factor for San Antonio in that OKC series. If the Knicks are going to win the championship, it's not, let me say it like this. If the Knicks are going to win the championship, Jalen Brunson's not going to be the most important player. Neither is Cat. It's going to be Josh Hart.
See, a lot of you have said that, and here's what I honest to God believe. If Mitchell Robinson is healthy, he is the one body that they can throw at Wemby that can bang with Wemby. He was not going to stop Wemby, but you got 6 fouls to use. And he's going to be the guy with a broken finger or whatever he has, that if he's not healthy and he can't play, that's a huge missing element for the Knicks, regardless of his free throw woes, because he is a defensive stopper. We've seen that throughout the postseason.
I agree with you, but if the Spurs are going to employ a similar defensive scheme to what we've seen other teams try to do against the Knicks, they're going to force Josh Hart, I should say, to make the outside shot.
It's not just going to be Josh Hart. It's going to be Landry Shaman. It's going to be OG Anunoby. It's going to be those other guys, the role players that are going to have to make threes. If they hit their threes, they can win this series if they can hit them consistently. The other thing is this.
It's Josh Hart that primarily stands out of that group for me. Because
the other thing is this, Josh, I know you value the regular season more. Since February, I think the Spurs only had 3 regular season losses, and one of them I know was in Madison Square Garden. I know the Knicks beat them by 20. I know it was a Sunday afternoon game. How will the young Spurs be able to handle that crowd environment when I believe it would be, Monday night, game 3 in MSG?
Yeah, and by the way, I love that they put the Larry O'Brien trophy back on the court. NBA Finals.
Yes.
Well, we bullied Adam Silver into doing that. I mean, let's be honest.
It actually feels like the NBA Finals again.
Well, you know what else feels like the NBA? But we have 2 big markets and 2 big brands, not the Pacers and the Thunder.
Yeah. I'm scared though, because if New York wins, the city is going to burn down. If the Knicks lose, the city is going to burn down. So New York will never be the same after this series.
Well,
Good
I
Lord.
somewhat disagree because this is the best season the Knicks have had easily since 1999. And I defended them moving on from Tom Thibodeau, and I liked the hire of Mike Brown. I said at the time, I thought he was the perfect hire for the franchise at that time. I thought he was a shift stealer, and Mike Brown's an excellent job. And again, I will say this up front. I know, Josh, you feel differently. I don't hate the Knicks. I actually enjoy the way the Knicks play, this version of the Knicks play basketball. I think that they're fun to watch, and I will not be upset if the Knicks win the championship.
Oh, I will be. But
I don't want
think the
that
Knicks have
scumbag owner to get a title.
Yeah. I can't stand the Knicks fan base. I hate Dolan. I
respect Brunson and Cat.
I will never forgive them for the 2023 first round series. They beat us in a regular season game here in Cleveland on ESPN where they lost Jalen Brunson due to an injury. The Christmas game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Knicks, you have reached a level of dislike for me that you will never come back from. Never.
I can't wait till the Cavs lose a first-round matchup against every single team in the Eastern Conference, because then you'll just hate every team of the week. You won't have to watch sports anymore.
Do you want to know something that I was doing earlier today, and I did some research into? 19 of the last 35 or so years, the Cavs have qualified for the playoffs. Just this decade, I excluded the quirky 99-2000 season from that count. So, like, the last 26 years, you've qualified for the playoffs. No, it's because it's technically played in 2 different centuries.
Oh, okay. Got you.
But basically, from the 26 years this century, 01 to this just completed Cavs campaign for them, they have qualified for the playoffs 13 times. How many times do you guys think they've lost in the first round out of those 13 times they've qualified?
I'm going to guess 1 because of the first year against the Knicks with Mitchell and those guys when they lost in 5 games.
Josh?
That's the only one I remember.
I know we didn't lose against the Wizards in any of those opening series with LeBron. And we almost lost that series against Indiana. But
they didn't. I don't think they made the playoffs prior to LeBron, so that's why I'm going to say 1.
Yeah,
just 1. Again, this is 2001 playoffs through this year's playoffs.
And it was 2023 against the Knicks first round.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And you want to know something a little funnier, especially, about, like, what was it? As I said before, 19 out of 35. If you go back and add in, like, 1992, East Finals is where they exited. 93, East Semis instead, 1 round earlier that next year. Basically, like, outside of that, like, they had a 3-year, like, they went to the East Finals, East Semis, 3 straight losses in 3 straight years in a row from 94 to 96 in the first round for the Cavs. Didn't make it 97, lost in the first round in 98. Didn't lose again in the first round until the Knicks series.
All right, who's your guys' finals MVP? Because I do want to get to the draft lottery.
Oh God, it's gonna be Wemby, or it's probably gonna be I don't know on the Spurs. It's up in the air right now for me. I don't know.
Most likely, if the Spurs win, it's gonna be Wemby, but I'm gonna stick with my guy, Stephon Castle.
I don't know. It'll be interesting. It will.
For me, it is the guy who is the best player on God's green earth at playing the game with a round ball basketball, Victor Wembanyama. And I think you could make a case, my guess is, just like in 2015, when people were trying to make the case that LeBron could have been the MVP on a losing finals team when
he should have been.
When he had everybody in every statistical category, you might be able to make that case from Wemby in this series, even if they lose.
Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, I'll just say this. Even though we lost to the Spurs in 2007 in the finals, I've never held a grudge against the San Antonio.
I don't understand the difference. You got to help.
I don't either. It's like we were not expected to win. We were the underdogs going into that.
I've never held a grudge against the Spurs because I have way too much respect for Greg Popovich, Tim Duncan's one of my all-time favorite players. Tony Parker was great to watch. Manu Ginobili, David Robinson, Bruce Bowen. That
feels so weird that
but we were not supposed to win against this Knicks team, Josh. I think that's what you're missing.
Yeah. That's the point.
I have my own reasons. You don't have to understand them, but I'm sticking with my guns.